What I've got here is a 2015 Mazda 6. Time for me to rotate the tires. So the maintenance interval from Mazda is every 7,500 miles you want to rotate your tires. I've had the car for about 10,000 miles, so I will admit that I'm a little late here. But essentially what you do, and this will probably hold true for most cars, is the front wheels are going to go to the back, and then the two pack wheels are going to cross coming forward. So in other words, the driver's side rear wheel will end up on the passenger side front, and the passenger side rear will end up on the driver's side front, and the two driver's and passenger side fronts will go to the driver's and passenger sides back. Sometimes people are leery to do this because they can't put the car on a jack stand or something like that. And essentially, if you take advantage of using your spare tire, you can do it just as if you're changing out a tire. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen up all the lug nuts on the tires right now because it's the easiest thing to do. So loosen up all the wheels, and then I'll get to putting the car up in the air. Conveniently, all the tools you need for this job are in your trunk. So go underneath cover here, you got the spare tire. These are tow hooks and straps over here. We won't be using those today. But then over here you have your lug wrench and your twist bar for your jack, and the jack is underneath back in there in the passenger side little cubby hole thing. Now I'm not going to be using this jack because I have a regular new hydraulic floor jack. It'll be quicker, but I will use the spare tire. Just unscrew this little thing right here, pull that spare tire right out. As a reminder, this is also a good time to check the pressure of your spare tire, since you probably don't do that often, and that'll get the every 7,500 miles or so, make sure that thing is pumped up. So like I said, I'm not going to use the jack that comes with the car, but I did pull it out because I'll show you where it goes. Now there is a little sticker on here that also shows you the jacking points for the car. I'll show you them underneath here and get the camera situated and let you see it. So if you can see right there, there's the front of the tire. Give you an idea of about how far back I am. You've got the crease right here for the door. So right behind that you can see those two red marks, and there's like a little cutout. That's where the jack goes. Pretty slick little arrangement here. I have this eye hook looking thing and a little tire iron on one side. Slide that inside the hole there. End of your lug wrench goes right on top of that. Slides in that little hole. And then righty tighty lefty loosey, turn it to the right, start to bring the jack up. You can see, turn to your left, it'll start to bring the jack down. Now obviously this is for using on the side of the road, but it will work in your driveway just as well. So I'm going to do the driver's side first. Important safety tip here I'd recommend. I got a big old brick here, and I'm going to put this behind the passenger side rear wheel because that tire is going to stay on right now. And even though you've got the emergency brake on and maybe the car in park if you have an automatic, or in gear if you have a manual, still you should chalk the rear wheels just to keep the car from rolling, or the front wheels, or some wheel that's going to be in contact with the ground. Only need to get the tire up as far as it takes just to clear the ground. Take the lugs off the rest of the way. Now is also a good time to inspect your brake pads, which are sitting right there. Mine are actually in pretty good shape, believe it or not. And just a general once over in here just to make sure that there's nothing broken or obviously fluids leaking or anything like that. And everything looks good to me. Alright, we got that done. We'll put the spare on. And now that that's on, I'll lower the car down. Now you've got to keep track of which tire you're doing. So the next tire I'm going to do is the rear driver's side, because I've got the front driver's side here. So I'm essentially just going to take the rear driver's side tire off and replace it with the once front driver's side. So this tire right here is the driver's side rear that I just took off. You can see that center tread there is got, you can actually see a tread in there. If you come over to the driver's side, you can see that center tread's almost completely gone. So My guess is that these tires have not been rotated adequately. The fronts are going to wear faster than the rears on a front-wheel drive car. Probably not the first time that somebody has skipped the intervals. So that tire's on. We'll lower the car back down. Now you don't want to tighten the lug nuts all the way down. You want to get them snug, but you don't need to tighten them down. We'll wait until the car is on the ground and use the weight of the car to prevent the tire from rolling and the car from rolling and help you get it tight. But when you do tighten it down, you want to tighten it in a star pattern on the lugs. So if you go to this one first, you want to go across and down to this one, and then over to this one, and then over to this one, and then over to this one, and just alternate your pattern, sometimes called a star pattern, and that prevents the wheel from getting put on crooked. Alright, passenger side is done. Spare tire is off, ready to mount the last tire. Another thing that I did not mention, now is a good time to just kind of give your tire a once over and just slowly roll it in front of you. Looking for nails and screws and stuff that might be embedded in the tire that you didn't notice before that's not really causing that much of a leak. Now would be a good time to identify that so you can get it fixed. Tires are rotated. Took me about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, not too bad. Now, I am not a fan of pneumatic tools, specifically impact wrenches for taking off tires. So I only use hand tools for taking off wheels and tires. And I am going to use the tool that was included with the kit to tighten them up. So I'll get them tight as I can get. But then when I get home tonight, I'll check them again just to make sure that they haven't loosened up. You always want to recheck after your first lengthy drive. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Cheers.